Hey, 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 welcome back to the Virgo Channel. My name is Laura, if you're new to the channel. I'm going to do a reading for my winner tonight. Yep, I don't remember her name, but she will eventually be on. But what you'll notice is if you wound up on this channel at this time, you're going to resonate with the message because the universe always brings us the people, the situations, and the experiences that are going to help heal us, that are going to help change us, right? You are a mirror of who and what comes into your life. And so what does that actually mean, and what does that have to do with anything, especially when you just want to get a reading? Well, again, you're the alchemist of your life. You're the creator of your life. So the readings that I like to do is I like to do shadow readings. I like to dive deep within the reading. So I look at everything. I do because it's important. We always want to know what our person thinks, what they're going to do. You know, the ego part of ourselves wants to know that no matter what the person is, if the person could be a complete jerk, if we have feelings for them, we still obviously want to know that information. But what's most important with a shadow reading is what were the habits, the behaviorisms, what were the karmic themes that play out? Why do you keep attracting what you're attracting? Because a lot of times we get readings because we have a lot of anxiety. We're worried what's going to happen, what's going to happen. So we already know that no one needs to tell you when your relationship's not working out. That's not, we know because we can feel. We want to know why. How did it go from one extreme to another? Was the person full of shit? Were they not? It creates a lot of anxiety because it creates a lot of thinking, and a lot of thinking creates a lot of emotions. And what is a spiritual block? It's your thoughts and your emotions held in the body as stress. So when you don't learn, it means you haven't integrated the spiritual lesson, so you get stuck in a karmic theme. So again, wanting to break karmic cycles, whether it's here we go again with this same person, because I've had a connection with this person now for like 10 years and they've been in and out of my life and we just can't get it right, but I know this person loves me. It's one of those type of situations. Or whether or not it's I don't know, it's like I might as well be dating the same person because the same exact scenario, the same thing happens. So I'm just kind of waiting. And so what happens is we close our heart. And we're down here in physical form to learn and to manifest. And you're supposed to be learning. You're not separate from the universe, and the universe is God, and the universe is also unconditional love. That's all that the energy is. You are unconditional love. It's our connection to each other. And when we're at the highest of consciousness, that's what we are. So spiritual blocks are, again, anything that are derived from fear. And so that's when we're in that state, we're coming from a survival mode. And so staying long periods of time will also obviously create physical issues. So that's why we always see people that have bad relationships. They also tend to have bad health issues because, again, the emotions. So it's all about integration so you can transmute that negative energy. Just knowing, oh, I know, is not enough. We have to actually do something with the negative energy because the negative energy just doesn't go away. You know, not able to say, oh, it's gone. You actually have to transmute it. The whole twin flame journey teaches us that. Teaches us, again, we wouldn't learn how to compromise. We wouldn't learn how to integrate the higher levels of consciousness. And then that negative energy from the 30, 40, 50 years that you lived on the planet with those behaviorisms and habits and drew in those bad experiences. Well, again, what are you going to do with that fire energy? Fire is the only energy that transmutes negative energy. The alchemists tell us that you are the alchemist of your life. So understand there's a reason why you're attracting who you're supposed to, who you attract into your life. You get who you need, not necessarily what you want. It just comes in a pretty package. Now, if you want to enter into a winning free reading with me, you also need to like the video, subscribe to the channel, write the word of the video in your comment bar. However, again, this video is for my winner. But what you'll notice is you'll resonate with it because you were supposed to hear it. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. The universe says, please don't do my job. Do your job. Be like childlike. When you're in that energy, you are of unconditional love. There's no expectation or ownership. That's how we know it's unconditional love. Now let's see. The underlining energy is pride. Pride. Being connected to a person that has a lot of pride. It's difficult because, again, pride is just the ego, and and this person's wounded. You're connected to someone that's wounded, so they have a lot of pride. It's distorted. And that's what happens when you're raised by people that also have pride, right? We're taught our behaviorism. So I feel like your person was not allowed to really be emotionally intelligent growing up. They weren't allowed to show vulnerability. And they're very prideful. So what I feel like is that you've been in like a Mexican standstill for so long that you detached. And this person knows that you detached. And now they're faced with, well, I could either stay in pride, where that means that I'm right, you need to come back to me and apologize, or we need to just pretend that we didn't have that argument, which is what I feel like this person tried to do. They did try and come back and try to pretend that nothing happened and you didn't take the bait. It didn't. You weren't nasty though. That's the kicker. You weren't nasty. This person was trying to read you. Can I come back? Can I not come back? I can't. I don't know. I can't ask because I'm too prideful. However, I can't read you because you didn't. So I'm gonna say bravo for not giving this person anything. It's like you weren't mean. So this person wants to come back. So you have them hooked because they want to come back, but they won't be able to come back unless they apologize. And this person is trying to figure out a way to come back and really not apologize, and because they don't really know what they want. So this is the underlining energy. The word of the video is pride. We're going to take a peek and see what this person did, how they triggered you. I mean, not that it's important, but we do want to know what this person did, why they do what they do, and why are you attracting this person? And can you shape shift the energy? Because, there's many different realities that play out at one time. Your level of consciousness determines on what plays out. Can you make a person become whole? No, but what you can do is you can always avoid negative karmic retribution. That's number one. Number two, you can, if the person wants to heal, you can make a person surrender their ego because you're holding to a certain standard, to a high vibration. And unconditional love makes us do things that we wouldn't normally do. That's why they call it the universal panacea, that magic pill. It's, again, that supernatural energy that we get to do things that we didn't think we could. That mother picks up the car to get her kid out from underneath it. We show up where we normally wouldn't show up. We try to put our best foot forward, all for love. So, and love is God. So love is the universe. And the universe says, I always win. I always collect my due and I always win. So you felt like when you're with this person that they were never really with you. Almost like they always seem to be a little bit distracted. Like there was always but I'm kind of feeling like they're troubled, and part of them is troubled because they're not comfortable with who they are. So it's like part of it is distracted because, again, they have anxiety that comes from how they grew up. And like you said, I feel like you read into it almost like this person was always thinking about someone else, almost like a player, because you weren't emotionally getting anything. So you're like, do you even like me? I don't even know, like, what the hell? You give so many mixed messages. And what you notice is that they tend to give a lot over to other people, almost seeming like dutiful. Well, again, like you said, they're not strong within themselves. So, yes, to family members, to old exes, to anyone that at one time built an emotional connection. And that's people that, they've had to, time. Time is what establishes bonds. So, this person, family, friends. But the problem is that they get taken advantage of from those people. So they don't feel comfortable with who they are. There's a sense of feeling always insignificant, always feeling not good enough, always feeling like they have to do in order to be liked, in order to be accepted, in order. So you're connected to someone that doesn't like who they are, that the people that are in their life, they get the emotional support from, but what they think is that they need to do in order to get. And that's, again, very tiresome. So that's also another reason why I feel like when they're with you, they're like, do I want to be in a relationship where I'm going to have to like do all this? There's always a sense of abandonment of themselves. So they become who you want them to become. For it's again because of their insecurity, but they don't stay that way. Then you see this other almost Jekyll and Hyde type of person, because no one can pretend to be someone that they're not. So, but this person will do it to be accepted, to be loved, to be, because they come in that way because they're insecure, but that's not really who they are. It's a trained behaviorism, and it's what makes them feel like there's something wrong with them. Like, I can't be loved unless I do all that. And it's tiresome to do all that. And it's like, that's why their relationships aren't good. Because if you overgive to people, what are you teaching? You're teaching people, you don't need to respect me. You don't need to teach. You don't need to see. And I think that you have this in common because you learned that a long time ago. You were an overgiver. So, and that's why you need to kind of see this, because you read a lot. This person triggers the shit out of you because they're not emotionally intelligent. So I'm kind of feeling like you must have grown up with someone that also like never like told you, never communicated, never, and you kind of needed that. And here's this person. And so, like I said, this person's constrained, giving up too much of their power. And that's what I said. It's the lack of respect. But I'm just sharing that with you because, again, I feel like you look at it and say, you don't want to do nothing for me. You don't give me anything. You ignore me. You act like I don't care. This person is like consumed by everyone in their life. That, yes, they have feelings, but it's almost like, how would I be able to be in a relationship with you too? How would I be able to make this work? Because they got to check in with everybody else. They don't really have to do that, but there's a sense of worrying about what other people think. So again, very insecure, very insecure. But, and then being so constrained is keeping this connection very constrained because they are not opening up their heart to you, but not for the reasons that you think. Now, these are your triggers. Bluff. It's like, I feel like this person pretended to be like, they could be a little self-righteous to you. Again, they're insecure, right? So when we see someone that's overgiven, that's insecure to the people that are in their life, well, again, they don't have any other people in their life because they're insecure. And what you did was you called their bluff because you were like, well, you know what? You act like I'm always going to stick around, that I'm going to put up with this. You don't give me time. You don't give me anything. And they don't, because they're not emotionally intelligent, but all for reasons that we just discussed. So I feel like this person just pretty much expects people to leave anyway. Like, again, well, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. See, I didn't give you anything, so of course you're not going to stay. And where it's like, and I feel like they're eventually going to get to that realization. You almost had to do that. And I feel like it's satisfying to you because you were like, I feel like you're taking advantage of me. I feel like you think I'm stupid. It's like you may not be cheating, but it's like you're undervaluing me and you're disrespecting me. And I feel like you've done healing on yourself Oh, I'm getting almost like the sidetrack where spirit's like, yeah, almost like you're getting triggered because it's like you're not going to allow anyone to put you back in that energy. And this person has feelings for you, but because they're not on that, on your vibration, because they haven't healed enough, they kind of like, always want to make the people do what's easier for them because they're a little bit of a coward. Fear, right? Only two energies, love and fear. And so they want to, again, get you to do what's easier for them because they're a little bit of a coward. To go up to a higher vibration, it means that you got to love yourself. You're going to piss people off. You have to set boundaries. This person doesn't know how to do that. Like I said, so you're taking it like, you don't want to do this for me. And it's like, this person doesn't know how to do it for themselves, is what spirit is saying. Saying like, this person's wounded. And but they showed you, and spirit says, I get what they showed you. That was a mask. That was an illusion. You don't think that they know that that's broken? Of course that they know that it's broken. That's why people create masks. And so you're also a threat. I like you, but if I really let you in that close, you're probably not going to like who I am, because I don't like who I am. So again, you felt like things were unfair. And that's, again, where that's that imbalance of energy. In order for them to feel whole, they would kind of have to make it unfair, because I can't really let you in that close. I'm also trying to hide who I am, and other people have more power over me. Even though they really don't, I'm giving my power up. I don't realize how I do this. And I feel like at this point, they're manipulated rather, because it's not, understand, when you're around certain people, it's like, and they don't allow you to grow. How do they not let you grow? By not allowing you to have your own opinions, by not allowing you to have certain freedoms. But like I said, your person gave those up a long time ago along the way, and they never realized it. It's almost like being married to someone and then getting a divorce, and then having that ex still play the game like they're still married to that person, where now you're in the connection and you're like, whoa, 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 we're not going to do all that. I don't know what's going on here, but it's like, it's not going to be you, me, and this person. It's going to be you and me, and you need to set appropriate boundaries. Now you're dealing with like a scared child. Like, and you're like, what the hell's the matter with you? It's triggering to you because you're like, no, I want this for me. So it's uncomfortable. It's for that person because it's forcing them. So of course they wanted to do things the easy way. And we could but see how it was very unfair for you. And you just felt like, again, they would get very triggered the same way that you would. And then you felt like you were getting treated like a child, almost like they would lash out at you, or that they would say, and it was like almost like they projected. It was like you triggered them because they know it's wrong. They know that their life isn't working. It's like, but in the fact that their life isn't working, they have to change. And that means they have to go into the unknown. And when a person doesn't know who they are, to go into the unknown is, you could just forget about it. And I don't really know you. You see, I didn't build up enough of an emotional connection. I mean, I'm attracted to you. It's not like I'm not attracted to you. But understand that when it really comes down to it, is there a ground to the relationship? This person knows, no, they haven't. So they're insecure with the relationship, and because they're insecure with themselves. So they're not even going to try, because it's better to stay. Oh, it's better for me not to know and stay in fantasy land, like it might have been able to work out, than actually me be rejected, is what I'm feeling. And so there was a lot of, again, this reflected, like, again, deflected energy, which is what you felt. And again, just excluded and forgotten about. It's all the same thing, keeping you lonely. It was like being by yourself. However, when you met this person, obviously there was expectations because there was a connection and whatever they told you. So you're like, I don't really understand why all of this. Well, all of this is that this person, I don't think, was expecting to have feelings, and then what happens is that they have feelings. It's like, and I feel like they have feelings because, hey, you didn't make things easy. This person couldn't have been a player with you. So, every time you challenge them, it's not like they came closer, they gave you less. They're prideful. So we have to say, well, are they planning on doing anything? Because what the fuck? Like, what are they thinking? Like, what is this? Like, this is a mess. Like, you dragged me into this, and we can see why it's triggering, why it creates a lot of trauma. Because it's like, well, what is that? What was the point of it? And so Spirit says, well, we will see why you attracted, because you have wounds if you attracted someone that's wounded. That's number one. But number two, well, it's actually saying where Spirit's saying our union energy needs clearing. Repeat this with slow, deep breaths. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. I'm grateful for you, which is probably like really difficult. You're like, fuck you. Like that's the energy that I feel there. And Spirit says that's why it needs to be cleared because this is energy that's old. And Spirit says you don't get to pick your soulmate. You don't get to pick your twin flame. And yes, if it's pissing you off, it needs to be clear. And I'm trying to show you something. The universe is saying you both have problem forgiveness. You have a problem with forgiveness. You have a problem with letting go. You have a problem with, again, with expectations, because the way it's like, no, what it was supposed to, and then this person, the Spirit says, we need to see how you contributed, but understand right now, this means that you both have childhood wounds and that you both need to learn the lesson of forgiveness. And this person needs to learn how to humble themselves, lose their pride, surrender their ego, learn to be humble, learn to be transparent. That's why it's terrifying, because Spirit says all that shit's got to go. All that bullshit needs to go. Oh, you don't want to change it, do you? Okay, be uncomfortable. Be uncomfortable. And that's why this person is uncomfortable, because they're like, why can't you just come back? Why do we have to? And you're like, why can't you just give me that respect? Like, it's a simple apology. It's a simple just say what you got to say. It's like, and then it's like, God, why am I getting a person like this? It's like, it makes me feel like I'm not lovable. And Spirit says, bingo. It's like, why is this person able to make you feel that way? Oh, childhood trauma. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. I'm grateful for you. Were you made not to feel that someone wasn't grateful for you? That, again, those deep wounds. I want to talk to you, but I'm not sure I'm ready to share everything and give you the answers that you deserve, because you might not stick around. You might not stick around, to be honest with you. I wouldn't stick around. That's why this person, again, shadows are parts that we've rejected, parts that we're like, oh, there's something wrong with this part. It's like, I wouldn't. And Spirit says, well, that's the problem. This person's not you. It's, again, they're going to come into your life and they can love you and show you. They have the capability. If it's a real soul relationship, you both will surrender your ego. The universe says, whether you stay, you don't want, you might get mad, it might take a little long, but the Spirit says you both will do it, because I always get my way. The universe says, I know this is more than a relationship, and that there is a higher purpose to our connection. And yes, it's about healing, because Spirit's saying, yeah, well, sometimes I have to get involved. When there's a lot of wounds from childhood and from past relationships, well, it's, again, I have to get involved. So I'm going to bring this soulmate into your life. Karmic mate, yeah, that's like, oh my God, this past karmic mate. It's you didn't learn the lesson in a past life, but there is unconditional love there. There is passion there. You can't mistake in that. There's many different realities that play out at one time. What's your level of consciousness when dealing with this person? Are you learning? And so that's really what spirit is saying. And that's why if you don't learn, you both can't walk away. Right. And so it's like the universe brought us together for a reason. I am trying to discover what these reasons are. So it's again, that's because you both can't walk away. Where it's like when you both can't walk away and you're both like, oh, I'm so frustrated, I'm so mad. It's because there's this blockage that needs to be worked through. And it's not really working through. It's like your person that gets triggered at what you're doing, almost like I'm getting mad and I'm trying to make you change by holding back from you and being prideful instead of like coming to you and really being vulnerable, which is what the relationship needs, because they're too afraid. Because then I have to tell you everything, and I don't know if you'd actually really like that version of me. Again, like I don't like that version of me. And I also have to then change. And that's going to piss off a lot of people. It's again, I'm going to burn a lot of bridges because again, I make people's lives comfortable. I'm dutiful to them. Surrender brings us together faster than resistance. So again, what we see is there's a push-pull of like, I want it, but I don't. I want it, but I don't. And I think that's what happens when you have a blockage that you're working through, where spirit's saying, there's deep childhood wounds there. It's like that you wouldn't look at, that this person wouldn't look at. But in order to heal them, you can't go back in time. So I brought you this person. And this person brought you. And so you're like, well, it's like, I feel like it's torture because it's like, I have feelings, but I also hate the person. I hate the person. They make me mad. And it's also like, I can't really see it really working out either with what I'm seeing. And that's because, and spirit says, yeah, because you're like angry, but you're not in control. You have to surrender. It's again, surrendering brings you back to spiritual equilibrium, which is balance. Otherwise, you're going to be up in your mind and you're going to then thinking, being triggered. And that's what's happening with this person. And that's because pride. You're in a Mexican standstill. And now this person, like I said, they were trying to give like little breadcrumbs. And you're like, fuck you and your breadcrumb. I'm not coming back for a breadcrumb. That's not happening. You like, if anything, you got to do twice as much. And spirit's like, yeah, I know, twice as much. Spirit says, right? Everything. See how like this is out of balance you are. Like you got to pay tax. And spirit says, we don't hold the score. It's again, unconditional love isn't that. It's like you have to surrender. And it's like, I'm teaching you what unconditional love is. That was not done to you. Again, I love you. I forgive you. I'm grateful for you. Don't listen to other people. Trust yourself to know the truth. So this person, again, relies on what other people think. And that's what I was saying. And that's a problem because when you are dealing with somebody that does so much for other people, and they don't know how to set boundaries, then they're always going to expect you to like take second seat. And that is again, what we see here, like the trigger. It's like, you can't you always put me second. But again, that's triggering because you never put yourself first. And other people, again, always didn't put yourself first. So you actually have to get up and again, put yourself first. That's why you're in a situation like that. Otherwise, you won't heal it. You can't expect the other person to heal it. When you actually do it for yourself, that's what makes the other person change, because then they see, well, that person did it and they're happy. So you inspire them to do it. You can't tell a person to do it. They're not going to do it because they're afraid. They already know their life isn't working. People know when they overgive and they do too much, and then when they're being manipulated, just talking to a person, you're not going to be able to do it. You can change yourself, though. There are messages being exchanged through music and movies. Listen carefully. I feel like this person like sees signs and synchronicities. You know, when you're trying to look for clues, and it's like, should I like reach out? Should I call? Like, I feel like their pride is slowly wavering. Right? Again, the wall was pretty high, but it's starting to slowly come down, like where they're like, I don't know how to handle this situation. I don't know what to do, which is good because they were in full control. And now they're actually looking to the universe for some sort of advice, which the universe tends to not get involved until you ask. Oh, it'll make you very uncomfortable so that you will ask. But it doesn't get involved unless you say, come on, like please help me. And this person was too ego to do that. I feel you pulling away, and it triggers my fears that you'll leave me for good. Yeah, because you're like over it. Like I said, you're like, I called your bluff, motherfucker. I'm out of here. It's like, I'm not dealing with this anymore. I'm so triggered and I'm so angry because you don't fix it. I don't see any difference. This is just whatever this is, and I don't like it. And Spirit says, we should have really walked away a long time ago. Then that's again, and that's why you're actually also mad at yourself. And Spirit says, that's just between you and me. That's not in the cards. But I mean, if we really want to know how because once you started to pull away, that's when you got this person's like, oh, and now I got attention. Before you didn't have any attention. Energetically, you were holding on. And this person knew it. You have an ESP connection through the heart and mind. This is a past life karmic mate. You knew them from a million years ago. You think a few weeks, a month, a year, or 2 years is a big difference? That it's like they just talked to you. You're still there in this lifetime. So like I said, you pulling away, they lost you in one lifetime. They're afraid that it's going to happen again because this is karmic mate. This is definitely not no twin flame yet, because this person has not like they're trying to figure out how to just raise their vibration to get up to your vibration. Now, it doesn't mean that they don't have gifts in other areas, but spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, mentally, they're not on the level. They're on a lower vibration. Doesn't mean that they're not book smart. I feel insecure and it's pushing me to grow. We knew this already. Again, people that get manipulated around. And again, this person is insecure. That's why they created the facade. Oh, you think I look good tonight? Thank you. Wow. Wild child. But that, I mean, we already know. And then this person, why they're insecure. And I hate this card. I'm going to tell you why. Because it just pisses me off. When a person like has spiritual blocks and then they don't have a conversation and then the energy gets stagnant, our energy is stagnant. So triggers, like this person triggers you to break the stagnant energy to help the energy flow again, because they can't have a conversation. So they deliberately like do bullshit things to get underneath your skin because they're insecure. They're emotionally not intelligent. They're not secure enough to be emotionally intelligent. I want to say that they're like emotionally handicapped. And so, they're going to act like they're in the third grade instead of having a conversation. I feel like this person also has like avoidant issues. So part of them relying on outside people, it's actually bringing them to a place of, well, why am I like reliant on these people? And why do I care about these other people? And how can I make it work in this type of a relationship? It's pushing them to grow. It really is pushing them to grow. However, it doesn't mean that it's a smooth ride, darlings. What it means is that this person is going to be an asshole sometimes, because so that means emotionally, Spirit says, well, if you're getting a person like that and it triggers you, well, then you had someone in your life also that used to like to get underneath your skin and make you feel a certain way. And so it's, you didn't learn how to deal with them. Remember, we don't change them. We don't change them. So you might have a mother-in-law, a sister, a brother, a mother, a father, and spirit says you don't get rid of those people. It's like, well, I can't deal with them. It doesn't work. And spirit says, I love you. I forgive you. Remember that. I'm grateful for you. Well, again, it goes back to that. And it goes back to forgiveness. And it goes back to surrendering. And it means we change ourselves. Because again, when we change ourselves, we get a different outcome. So that doesn't mean we curse them out. We don't see. That might mean we say, well, I don't stick around. Oh, well, it was nice seeing you, but I have to go early. We change. We give the person the opportunity. If we really are coming from the highest state of consciousness, spirit saying there's anger that needs to be cleared on both parties. That's why this connection is happening. It's like, that's why the emotional triggers are there. You show up in my dreams. It helps me process buried memories. So again, past life, soulmate. So even if this person tried to forget about you, they can't forget about you. I don't feel deserving, and it's affecting my levels of abundance and openness. And that we know that this person's insecure. It says it all over the place. So what we see is like they're in a place of healing right now. But really, spirit says, if the relationship works out, it doesn't work out, I don't give a shit now. I did my part, the universe says. You guys came into your life. You have free will to choose. And this person, it might only be at this level right now. Are they ever going to be potentially ready? How long is it going to take? And spirit says, you looking at the clock is not going to speed up their process. But we can see, are they going to? Well, understand, you leaving them behind is, they can feel it. You have an ESP connection through the heart and mind. So they feel you cutting the psychic cord. And so, that's pushing them to grow. It is pushing them to grow. I just feel as if it's, again, all that gunk. And the gunk is, I'm not deserving. I'm not good enough. I don't know if I can share everything with you. All this pulling back, all this pride, all this ego, because I really would need to be transparent. I don't know if I can do. That's terrifying, because you have the opportunity to really hurt me, because I really do care. It's like, I feel like this person wants to alleviate the suffering. So eventually that's what it's going to be. They're like, they want to alleviate suffering. They see you as having again, like a water carrier, someone that I feel like is very healer energy. Okay. Someone that does very generous, someone that's very noble, someone that's very balanced, someone that's really good with communication and unselfish and on a higher vibration. This person knows that you're better than them. They're like, I know. It's like, and I want to be on your level, and they want to alleviate their suffering, because that's what's going to happen. Because it's like, I feel like they do reach out, but it's not necessarily, oh, I'm so passionate and in love with you. And I believe it's more like, I want to change. I want to heal. I miss you. I miss your energy. It's actually more ethical. And the reason why is because this person isn't an emotional person. They don't know how to work with their emotions. So they tend to come across cold. Like I said, they're unemotional. They're not emotionally intelligent. You're dealing with an emotionally handicapped person. So for them to actually come and say, I love you, and show that transparency, it's difficult. But can they come in and say, I miss you. I miss our friendship. I miss, yes. Yes. It's again, this person sees that. And look, this came out again. Like I said, this person would help you. They would help you. They want to be again, do I don't want to say team, but if you were working on a project, they would help you with it. If whatever you needed, that they would help you with. They want that friendship. They want that camaraderie. It's like you make them feel safe. And I think it's not that they're not attracted. Obviously, they were attracted to you. They wouldn't have stuck around. But a lot of time has passed by. This person has had a lot of time to reflect. Their wall has come down. They've had a lot of time to watch you, to meditate on you. And what it is it's those other spiritual elements, which, actually help them go deeper within inside of themselves. Yeah, like, which is helps this person like reclaim their power. Like, it's again, that's really what it is. It's helping them reclaim their power. And it's about spirituality, that not all relationships are about that. All meaning about love and sex and like passion and twin flame. This is not that story. This is a story about love and like a soulmate. But like I said, I feel like this person was on a much lower vibration, and you, like, again, inspired them. You inspired them, and it's by the way that you are, and they can see you in their life. That's what I see, because right now I don't feel like they're ready to be in a relationship. What we saw is them again working through a lot of their shit. And almost if you attracted this person, you also had shit. And Spirit says yes. And part of that was the forgiveness. However, we're going to take a peek and look and see what other wounds you have, because you're a mirror of what comes into your life. I wouldn't recommend you dating this person right now, because again, even trying, because they're emotionally not intelligent, but not because of you. That's again, because I think that they, when you met them, they tried to pretend that they were someone that they weren't, and they put their best foot forward. And you might have met them through a business, and they happen to be savvy in business. Or, you might have seen them driving in a car. They do drive a nice car. They do live in a nice house. But it's what they show you is not exactly, it is that, like, their house is theirs, but like their life, they're not as strong as they appear to be. It's like, think about the Oz, okay? The man behind the green curtain. Like, you don't see the man behind the green curtain. You just see the grand Oz. Wow. But then when you see the little bald man behind the curtain, you're like, well, what the fuck? That's kind of like what you were dealing with, and this person knows it. And this relationship made them look at that, and it's making them do serious changes, and that takes time. And that's why Spirit says this person is going to come back, but I feel like it's going to be more like want a friendship to work on. And you have to say, well, okay, why did I attract this person? Space. Number one, inner child wound. Space. I always look at this as a good card, but when it comes to like childhood, if you didn't create, what is space? Open space is where it's like have an open canvas. You can create anything that you want. But if you have trauma, you're not creating. So there's just kind of like open space of nothingness. So you might say, well, my childhood, I don't really remember like having hobbies and having interests and really like finding myself. I was kind of like regimented because of the environment that I grew up in. And so because of that, Spirit says yes. So there's still trauma there. And those undeveloped aspects of self are seen as trauma, because you look at them as, well, that's defective. And Spirit says that's a gift. You just don't know, because you don't know who you are yet. It's like there's still those karmic programs that are playing out within your life, that because No new life has occurred. Like we recreate new experiences. New experiences create new neurological pathways within the mind. And that allows us to create new habits and behaviorisms that allow us to change and break karmic themes. And so spirit says, no, you're still attracting that because you didn't create enough of a new life of your own. And that's through your own ideas, your own passions, your own. You might have just, got into a relationship, it didn't work, then went out to work, got into another relationship, didn't work. There's, again, but those karmic programs were always the same. And spirit's saying that's why you haven't healed again and haven't forgiven fully. And that's why spiritually you're out of balance. And that's why, again, you need to surrender to get spiritual equilibrium so you can attract better into your life. Again, because it made you feel unworthy. Again, like you said, feeling not good enough, trauma, psychological trauma is when you're a child. You're not gonna try. I'm afraid to try. It's like, so as spirit's saying, no, 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 you're worthy. You're not here by mistake, you're here by my design. Again, go out and find yourself, find your passions, your unique individuality by, again, going out and exploring. You'll meet different people and situations and experiences, and you'll be able to see the difference between that person and what's counterfeit and what's real. But this person made you feel unworthy because they didn't give you any time. They didn't give you any time because of all their wounds, nothing to do with you. But you staying attached is like you deserved it too. And spirit's saying, no, that's trained behavior of waiting to be loved, of waiting to be accepted, because that's the childhood trauma. So again, attracting a person that's not capable of doing it, instead of, again, utilizing the time and the space and the energy to create new experiences. So a lack of groundedness, outdoors, nature, right? What is that? A lack of connection to God, the universe. If, again, we feel unworthy and we don't know what our purpose is fully. And so spirit says, get out of your head, get into your body. Only in the now do I give you divine guidance through gut intuition, inner knowing. You are the alchemist of your life. You can change your life. And what's great about this story is there's love here. That's why this person says, I want to be in your life. I want to be in your life. I still want to be connected. And you were like, I still want you in my life too. I still have feelings too. And spirit says, because you're grateful for each other and you forgive each other. So you're learning how to surrender. And surrender, that's hard when there's childhood trauma, feeling unworthy and feeling not good enough, and having people that are emotionally cold, to you, to be transparent. It's scary. It's hard to let go. And so we have to, again, let go and surrender. If we don't, eventually we get sick. But one cause of not letting go is, again, detachment, disassociation. We're in our head then. We're not in our body. We don't feel anymore. There's a lack of connection to the earth. There's a lack of connection to other people because we become stuck in the karmic cycle. And that karmic cycle is what's keeping you stuck in a place of feeling not loved. And spirit says, well, again, we're going to look at this situation from a different perception, because, again, I am all knowing and you actually are all knowing, because you're not separate from me. You just happen to get blocked sometimes. So again, I'm going to bring you this situation because it is a divine situation. I brought you two together to teach, to learn. Again, there is love there, but it's not what it's, again, your perception of what it is and what it should be is distorted. It's, again, I'm much more simple than that. It's not all that. There's no ownership or expectation. There just is. Doesn't logically make sense. So nurture yourself. It's about learning how to love yourself so you can, again, learn to love other people. Again, learning to let go, and learning to again have the basic foundation, and the basic foundation is friendship. How do you integrate the higher levels of consciousness to get to unconditional love? What is unconditional love? Well, it's compassion, it's forgiveness, it's perseverance, it's courage, it's in spirit saying, well, you guys are displaying that. It wasn't done for you guys. No, you didn't grow up that way. And no, that person didn't grow up that way. So again, holding on to that anger is a protective mechanism that you guys taught yourself. And I have to recondition you, because it's all about evolving back to your natural state of consciousness, which is unconditional love, so you can attract abundance. Because really, again, there is no energy. Everything's energy, but there is no money, has no meaning except for the meaning you give to it. Nothing has any meaning except for the meaning that you choose to give it. So if you love yourself, you give whatever you put your energy to the most amount of love. And that love is not all the time. It's always perfect. However, our idea of what perfect is not perfect. Spirit says it's actually imperfect, just like your imperfect wounds. Once you integrate them, they turn to your gifts because they expand consciousness. So you're able to see yourself differently, and you're able to deal with situations differently. And that's what Spirit says. When one day heaven will be on earth is when we ground the highest level of consciousness, which is unconditional love. The Spirit's saying, I brought you into union not because it was an easy connection. It's because, again, there's dark wounds there, but there's love, and that love can grow as long as, again, the foundation is strong. The Spirit says, you both agreed to start off at that foundation, so let's look, what does the universe tell us to end it off with? What's the energy? And the energy could be just a message that we ourselves need to take into consideration. And it could have absolutely nothing to do about the relationship, where Spirit says, well, you need to do this in order to create balance within the relationship. Because it's not about having the person do what you want them to do. It's about you always staying balanced in the relationship. When you hold to a certain standard and someone has unconditional love for you, they change. They surrender their ego. Doesn't mean that it's an easy change. It's not. We don't want to change. We get stuck, especially if there's trauma. We've created those survival mechanisms for a reason. It's like, but they work as armor, and Spirit says that's not armor. It's actually closing you off from unconditional love, from the abundance that you both deserve. You got to break the ancestral karma. See, that's how it starts. It's like, and then you're passing it on, and you're passing it on, and it's 700 generations worth. Imagine the physical health issues and the mental health issues and all the emotional issues that come from that. So Spirit says the calm, and only in the now again do I get to divine guidance. So I would say always take time out for yourself. I breathe, live, and grow the light within me. I do one thing at a time and focus on the present moment. I cast off my doubts, all fears dissipate, and I find peace in my being. So again, I think when you're in a relationship and you have trauma, you're going to get triggered regardless. So Spirit, it says, always find your calm. You find your calm by pouring into yourself. Don't expect this person to give you emotionally everything. You need to do that for yourself. This person can contribute to your happiness and you to them. But remember, like a friend, not like a codependent, because if there was woundage here, again, this person's already codependent where they again become too dutiful for other people in spite of their insecurity. And you could have the same issue if you grew up the same way. And if you were belittled, guess what? Emotionally, you gave in order to be loved. And so Spirit's saying it's focusing on yourself. This person's triggering you, you're not calm. It means you're giving too much and having too much expectation of that person. Because again, unconditional love is the fact that you're continually giving yourself, filling yourself up with that. And you're both holding each other accountable. And there is love, but organically, this person is giving to you what they feel comfortable, and vice versa. And it's being done in a safe space. When you were brought up in an environment with a lot of trauma, to the point that there's childhood trauma where the child feels unworthy and feels not good enough, and it's being taught that you need to learn how to nurture yourself and get grounded in your body because, again, of past trauma, because you're not letting go, you're not forgiving. Well, Spirit says it means too much focus on other people, focus on yourself, get to that place of only in the now. Get to this place of unconditional love. That's where I am, Spirit says. I'm always in the calm. I'm always in the place of unconditional love. Get out of your head. Get into your body. Do what you love. Intuition will just come. And then you'll fill yourself up all the way, and you will have it more than enough to give to this person, and vice versa. And when there's no expectation, the relationship unfolds perfectly, because it's able to go with the flow of the changes of whatever happens in life. Otherwise, then it's codependent, and then there's all what happens again. And this is what it looks like. You guys are breaking again, like inheriting bad relationships that could codependent. And that doesn't mean that your parents didn't, they might have stayed together. You just know because one parent was unhappy. One person had all the power, the other person didn't, or both people were unhappy. And so, and when you come from that, it's like your parents couldn't give you enough to nurture you. A lot of times, again, there's projection. So Spirit's saying, you guys, again, the relationship, there was a higher purpose, and there is an opportunity for it to grow. But it's also about, I brought you this person to help you heal more, and vice versa. And that's why it's a profound. So we have many different soulmates. This would be classified under a life partner. It's, again, someone that comes in for maybe a season. Again, maybe not forever, but for a season, not a day, longer than a day, where they can stay in your life for a lifetime, but they stay as a friend, someone that you like, again, go in and out, and you stay connected to, just because you help for a while, you heal for a while. And so Spirit says it's almost like transition, like you guys are going through transition and come together and help each other in your own way. And this situation really does heal. But again, you'll evolve, I feel like, and go separate, but probably will stay friends, because again, that's what the relationship will really be built on at the end. This person will always trust you, because you'll always be like, well, it's a spade. I know you want me to say that it's a fucking star, but it's a fucking spade. And the person's like, I can't stand you because you're so honest, but I know it's true. And and unconditional love. I don't like what they tell me, and I don't like how they make me feel sometimes. And you'll say the same thing, but Spirit says, but you have unconditional love. And that's what it's about. So I'm going to leave that there for you guys. You let me know how you resonated. Hello, Mose. Hello, Wild Child, and everyone else that came to visit me on the channel. And for my winner, I hope that they tuned in. I always say I'm never going to say the person's name, but you always have an opportunity. No, you're welcome. So were you in the Wild Child? Did you resonated? I mean, that's what it's all about, right? Resonating with the spiritual message. Anyone have any questions for me? If not, I am going to go because I got to take my dogs out for a walk. I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your likes, shares, subscribes. I'm going to be on more often. I'm excited. So I wanted to just share too. You're welcome. I just wanted to share with you guys that my psychic soul healing coaching program, I'm switching on to a new platform called School, and we're going to have so many more new features. And so if you're someone that's in need of shadow healing coaching, I definitely will. Then you want to check it out because it has inner child healing, shadow healing, reparenting, and all the healing modalities to help you heal from the effects of trauma. We always start our sessions off with talking about the trigger of the week. Everyone has a trigger. We talk about it. We learn how to integrate and transmute those blockages, turn your spiritual wounds into spiritual gifts. There's prizes, there's giveaways. So again, really excited about changing onto this platform and being able to offer more classes. So definitely check it out. Thank you, Shay. I'm glad that you were on and like you got to hear it. And thank you everyone else for visiting. And like I said, anything of any importance or relevance to the channel, such as that coaching program, you can find in the description box. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.